I'm not going to be whispering for this video. I just really like saying hello in a whispering tone. Okay, today I have something really nice planned. I have decided to read excerpts of my journal entries from the very first journal that I've ever finished and speak on my views on these journal entries and how my perspective has either been solidified or changed, grown. So that's what we will be doing for this video. So please enjoy some soft-spoken reading, some page turning, and some reflection. Bees can be very docile creatures. They have a mission, and nothing will stop them from fulfilling it. I think of the term, many hands make light work, when I think of bees. They're very efficient, and they so obviously have a system. It's like each bee has a section that they need to cover, and they do so very peacefully. They'll skirt around the edges of where you are until they've determined that you're not a threat. I used to have such a fear of bees because those around me were scared of bees. They had a shark stinger, and that was enough for them to be hostilized in the eyes of society, a majority of which have never been stung. This is a really interesting social experiment because it proves that people view the unknown as a threat, something to fear because of its defense mechanisms, even though in reality, the risk is much higher for the bee. You sting, you die. We demonize them for having the choice in the first place. I've been thinking a lot about symbiotic relationships. For example, in the relationship between the flower and the bee takes pollen from the flower and they bring it back to the colony to ensure its survival, and the bee releases the pollen over the flowers to keep them growing beautifully and healthily. A mutually beneficial relationship. They're kind to each other because they each want the other to live. Bees are so delicate with flowers because they care about the flower's well-being and their own. These are the kinds of friendships and relationships that I want. That entry, I come back to that entry a lot actually. I really have a love for bees now, especially bumblebees. I have a garden in my backyard, and so I sometimes go out there and I'll just sit in the grass and I'll watch the bumblebees come and fly around. And usually they fly around me on these little white flowers that are in the grass. And they used to start so far away and like slowly make their way closer to me. I'm just seeing 444 right now. And that was back when I was very jumpy around them. Like, I would literally run away if I ever saw a bee. But now, I feel like I understand them so much more. I love to just sit in the grass and watch them work. And a couple of them have even come and like crawled on my leg or just sat on me for a second. And I used to be so scared. I used to be so afraid. But now that I realize that there's nothing to be afraid of, it makes me think of like all of the other things that we're scared of without a real reason to be afraid of them. You know, I think our society is one that's so shrouded in fear that it's kind of hard to see things in another way. 555. But that doesn't mean that we have to live like that. Because these things that we're so afraid of, most of the time are super awesome. They're amazing. They're docile, in the case of bees, at least. But like, we'll never know because we spend so much time running away from it and being scared of it that we don't actually stop to think, what if I tried befriending it? What if I looked at its good qualities first? What if I took a leap into something that I'm not used to? Things could be amazing. And yet, me, I choose to do something different, to see things differently. I wasn't always the girl who would save a spider if she saw one. And now that I am that girl, my family looks at me like I'm crazy daily because I refuse to kill insects in this house. I would much rather put them outside. But that grew within me with time. I had to make myself tolerant. I had to make myself into the kind of person who appreciated nature for what it is, appreciated the insects and the bees, and you know, everything has its purpose. I had to understand that. I think when we come to terms with the fact that everything in nature has a purpose, including us, it allows for so much more flow within life. I want to honor that flow. Always. Thank you for taking this time out to talk with me about bees and the flow of life. And I absolutely love this entry. I come back to it a lot because it reminds me that there are other beings on this earth that live and flow and work and do what they have to do in their own way. We're not the only ones that exist on this plane. We're not the only ones in the universe either. That's a conversation for another time. The only thing we can do is learn how to work with what we have. Learn how to have a mutually beneficial relationship with everything around us. And wouldn't that be beautiful? Thank you for taking this time. Ashe, 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 ashe. My name is Hiraeth, and you have spent this beautiful night with me.